Hey, ladies. Good morning, good morning. How are you doing? Welcome to a live that I'm going to be talking about. Um, what do you do when you're overwhelmed? And this is something that the Lord showed me that I have been constantly struggling with, and it's been something that I've now kind of realized that I can't stay that way. And I think this is definitely going to help you guys as well. And this is not necessarily also just to do with personal life, this is to do with your wardrobe as well. How we can sometimes feel overwhelmed with our wardrobe. But what do we do about it to get out of that? Yeah, so I wanted to talk to you about that today and some points and give you some tips on how you can get yourself out of it. So basically, what the Lord was showing me was that I get overwhelmed by so many things, but I end up, being stuck in that emotion, being stuck in that overwhelmedness of what I'm feeling. And I let that ruin my whole day. I let that ruin the next minute. I let that ruin, the next hour. And I get to that point and I'm thinking, how did I get here? Like, how did I get here? Because when I was actually out in Oxford Street, my phone died and I was unable to do some videos, but I had a really, really, really good day regardless of how it went. But I did feel like frustrated about that because I was planning to do, I was planning for it to go a certain way, and when it didn't, I got really frustrated and a bit overwhelmed with not having the content that I wanted. But also I did manage to create content. But it was more me knowing that I need to think about what I did do and not what I could have done. And I just needed to go with the flow and just let it happen. Things happen, things change. There's things that we go through where we get overwhelmed or we get frustrated or we don't know what to do, but how do we deal with that? So also with my personal life, in personal things, whenever I'm confused about something or I'm overwhelmed by too much like information and majority of the time it's more overwhelmed that I'm feeling with feeling in that moment that I haven't done enough, or feeling in that moment where I can do more. Feeling in that moment of, I guess, like reading the word as well can be quite overwhelming in terms of the notes that you take, especially for me. Like, I'm not someone, and this is personally like me, not everybody out there is like me, because we are all different. So I'm only speaking for myself, but with the word and going to the word, I understand it, but when I start taking notes and I take too much notes, and obviously it gets overwhelming for me. So I let that affect me, like the overwhelmingness of it. And I don't just, sit back and say, okay, I feel overwhelmed by this. What can I do to make it simple? What can I do just to improve it to help me? Like, what can I do? Is there any steps that I can take to help me? And but that's what I don't do. I just sit in that moment of the overwhelmness where my emotions start coming up and I start overthinking and overthinking and overthinking and overthinking, and it gets too frustrated for me, and it literally just ruins the time that I'm spending with the Lord, or the time of what I'm doing. It's where I'm unable to do it anymore. And that's not what I want to happen. I want to, take look at the situation, look at maybe what I could have done, maybe prepared myself beforehand when I was starting to know, or going into my time with the Lord and reading the word. Maybe I should have, went into that point of, okay, this is what I'm going to face. How am I going to deal with it? Because I already know that I'm being overwhelmed by certain things. So how can I, make it simple before I go into something? And as well, it kind of showed me also that, like, how I was feeling during my time during lockdown, like how I was so depressed, how I was so, really focusing on that moment. And it, sorry, I got a timer on my phone or my Instagram so I don't be on Instagram for the distraction reasons, and just to not, waste time, because sometimes Instagram can be quite, once you're on it, you don't want to come off sometimes. And it's become a distraction for me, with that, with being able to do my content, with being able to do other things I need to do for my business, with being able to do other things I want to do in my personal life. Once I'm on Instagram, I post, and then I'm, constantly strolling. So like, if you're like me, put a timer on. If you're not, I try my best. It's so hard. But yeah, that's what just happened just now. That's why it paused. Yeah, so yeah, as I was going when I was going through lockdown, when it was lockdown, and I did become like depressed in that time, and looking back at it and knowing obviously what I was just feeling just now and what I just mentioned, I allowed myself to, and it's hard for me to say this because it is a hard thing to go through, but I allowed myself to, stay in that way, where we can always get out of something, but it is hard. Like, talking from experience, it is hard, because you don't know what you're going through. You don't know. You have all these things in your mind. You constantly are down, and it's really, really, really hard. And I just, I really have the heart for those who are going through this in this moment. And I just want to tell you and encourage you and just say that there is a way out of what you are going through. There is always a way out. And the way out, honestly, is Jesus. And he is the one who cured me from everything, as well as talking to somebody, which is good, which I discovered in therapy. I was able to talk about what I was going through, because I didn't understand it. But that's how I found Jesus through it. That's how I found God, through talking to somebody. But he was the one who only healed me, because I was able to, talk about a lot of things. And then I was able to feel that peace of him and that comfort of him afterwards, knowing that he is the light and he is the one who can get me out of this darkness. And he has changed my life forever. And I literally don't know what I would do without him. And when you become to know the Lord and you become to talk to him, you just feel, in those moments, you just feel so free when you unload everything, because it's a relationship, and that's still what I'm learning, is this relationship. But what I have learned is that as I have continued to speak to him, I've continued to, say what I'm feeling. Doesn't always happen perfect. I'm not going to lie. Like, there is sometimes where I do struggle, where I don't know kind of what to say. But as soon as I've, really understood how I'm feeling, and I go to him with what I'm feeling, I feel so much peace. I feel so much like weight lifted off my shoulder. I get my strength back, which is what he gives me. Like, as that is like something that, where I'm at a point where I was weak, I needed his strength to get me through it. Because we have an enemy in this world. We have an enemy in this world, and he wants to keep us in that place, but God wants to bring us out of that place. And once you allow him to bring us out of that place, that's where you find the whole meaning of life and the whole meaning of who he is. And it's honestly such a beautiful, beautiful journey that I am going through. And he is for you as well. Like, it's not just for me, because he's done everything for the world, to save the world, to get us out of this darkness in this world. Like, this world is so dark, but he brings the light, and he brings us hope. He brings us peace. He brings us comfort. He brings us protection. He brings us, love that we have that's unexplainable. Honestly, I honestly still can't explain his love. It's just overwhelming sometimes, that someone who died for us when we deserved that, it was just like, what? Like, how can you, still feel that I'm, wanted? But he created us. He created us to love us. He created us to show that we are worthy, to show that we are enough, to show the world that what the world says doesn't matter. What God says matters, because he's the one who created you as an individual person. So so that's what he kind of showed me, and that's what helped me during my darkest times, and that's what helps me during my darkest times, is I just talk to God, and he just releases everything. And I mean, it's not like an overnight thing. It's something that we have to speak to him about, and constantly rely on him and not on what we are going through, because his word says, once we say everything to him, he says, give us your I'll take your burdens and your worries, and I will give you peace. So once we give him our worries, our burdens, we just forget about it, because we know that it's in his hands, and he is the one who's in control of this world. So it's about trusting in, he has got this, and I can do nothing now. I just have to let him do the work in me to cure me, to help me, and that's it. Like, that is literally it. I just have to do that. And I was going through, again, a little dark time, but as I spoke to God about it, and I just got the healing, the whole inner healing of what I was still struggling with, which was that rejection, which I mentioned. So I was still going through that, like, quite recently, and knowing him and knowing all that he is to me and all that he is to the world is so, so, so beautiful, and so much more than you can ever imagine. He is someone that you constantly learn about every single day. But yeah, I honestly just don't know what I would do without him now in my life. And I just wanted to mention that to those out there who are going through something right now. God, Jesus, as they are in one, he can help you. And he is someone who wants to know you. He is someone who wants to have a relationship with you. Like, he is that someone who wants to know you. He wants to take everything from you, like your burdens, your worries, your struggles. He wants to heal you. He wants to fill you with his love, fill you with his joy, fill you with his whole abundance and his grace and mercy. He's so compassionate. He's so kind and generous, and he is our Father. And that's what he is, our Father. And I never had honestly my father around. I never had my father around. So I was affected by, it did affect my relationship with God when I started to know God, because I didn't kind of know him as that, like my father. But I knew all that he'd done. But it's that father and daughter relationship that I lost. Not that I lost, that I didn't have. It affected my relationship when I came with God, because he is my father. Like, he is my father. And my dad here is my earth dad. So it was a struggle for me, honestly. And it's still it's still a progress. It's still a journey that I'm on. But honestly, I'm loving this journey. And me and my dad has actually got a better relationship as well. since everything happened, like, we have a better relationship. I was able to go to him now with how I felt, because I never could go to him with how I constantly was feeling for 30 years until I found God, who he helped me to be able to do that. He gave me the strength to, share what I'm feeling with my dad, because it's something, when you share something that you've been through your whole life with someone that loves you, with someone that cares for you, and someone that you love as well, but you felt a certain way. Well, it wasn't necessarily what they did, but it's how I just felt. It's hard. Like, it's hard. Hey, Amrin, how are you? It's hard. So not being able to have God's strength to get me through that, and to be able to do that, because it is hard, because you're not too sure what someone's going to say, how they're going to react to certain things. It's hard, but having God with me as I was doing it, as I was saying what I needed to say and to get everything off my chest, I felt so free, and we actually have started to reconnect our relationship. And I'm just so grateful, and it was just full of so much forgiveness for myself and forgiveness of the hurt that I felt, and able to forgive him for what he wasn't able to do. It's just, he just brought us back together, and I really, 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 I'm just so grateful for that. But I also want to talk to you about how we feel, like what we do when we feel overwhelmed with our wardrobes as well. And with our wardrobes, it's like, whoa, we get overwhelmed with our wardrobes, don't we? And it can be quite, so overwhelming that we really just get so overwhelmed by everything. But what do we do with it, with that overwhelmness? Like, we have a wardrobe full of clothes, we are overwhelmed because we see so much stuff, and we're like, what do we do? What do we wear? And then we get overwhelmed. We think we know what we're going to wear. We put that item on, we put that outfit on, but then we don't feel good, because we've already built up that overwhelmness of, this is the overloaded wardrobe beforehand. That was in our first thought. So then we actually walk into being overwhelmed. And it was just something that I was just like, what am I doing? Like, how overwhelming is this? And it can be the point where, when we first enter that overwhelmness of our wardrobe, and then obviously we are sitting in that overwhelmness of the outfit that we are wearing, it ruins our whole day. It ruins how we feel in ourselves, how we, don't feel as confident within ourselves. And why should we feel like that? Like, we need to, go into, hey, Ava, Avra, I think I said did I say your name right? Avra, Avia, I think I said your name right. Let me know, please. How are you doing? So we sit in that overwhelmness of our struggle with our outfit, so then we don't feel comfortable with what we're going to wear, and then we step outside and we just get fidgety, and we're not too sure, I don't feel good. So why Avia, okay, that's great. Thank you. How's your day going? Good. So we actually focus on the problem and not on what you can do beforehand to fix the problem, because we already know when we go into our closet, we are going to be overwhelmed with what we are seeing, because we see it every day. And it's something that I feel we need to really prepare ourselves first before going into our wardrobes, because we wear our clothes every day, right? And it's more to do with, I know how I'm going to feel when I see my clothes, but what can I do to fix it? Can I prepare the night before? Can I get my mindset right first? Can I pick out things that maybe I haven't worn before? So maybe try something the night before that you can experiment with, and try the outfit on before, the day before, so you can, see how you are going to feel in that outfit. Just honestly, that is what it's all about, is really preparing our mind before we do something, so we're not feeling that overwhelmedness. But sometimes it's hard for us to do that, because, and that was my struggle. Like, I was so overwhelmed with my wardrobe, honestly. And I think I did mention this before, I don't know if I'm repeating myself, but I was so overwhelmed with everything that I was seeing, and I just needed a solution to, get me through the day, and to get me through my life, because I couldn't be on a continuous repetitive cycle of, what am I gonna wear? I couldn't handle that. I needed to make some things happen. I needed to find a solution. And what I discovered was the capsule wardrobe, and that helped me so much. And as I'm now introducing it to clients, and I've had it for like 7 years now, I never look back. Like, I honestly never look back. I do feel like my wardrobe needs a little bit of update, but I never look back. Like, capsule wardrobes has changed my life, like, honestly, and in my clients' lives as well. As I learned about it in college, as I learned about personal styling in college, and I discovered capsule wardrobes a few years after that, I thought, how did I not know this before? But I felt like I needed to, oh, amazing, how did it go? Massive clear outs is the best, honestly. How was the process? How did it go? How did it go? I've actually got a video about decluttering your wardrobe, if you want to take a look at it, in my IGTV, where I give you tips on how to declutter it successfully. But I'm so proud of you for doing the clear out. It's amazing to have a clear out of our clothes, because honestly, we're not going to keep them. Like, when we're gone, honestly, we're not going to keep these clothes. So why are we keeping them now while we're living? Just have the things in your wardrobe that you love, and get rid of the rest, because you're not going to wear them. Just going to give them to someone who needs them. Those who are in need, because they need it more than you do. You have enough clothes in your wardrobe to really use, and sometimes it is hard to really know how to wear the clothes, and that's where I come in to help you to be a bit more creative and to really maximize the potential of your wardrobe. But really, it's about figuring out as well, what can I do to change my situation. If I have been constantly being on a repetitive cycle of struggling, like, what little thing can I do to make it better? And the tips that I gave you before, which is, can I plan my outfit the night before? Can I try and experiment a little bit over, just take a weekend off and just experiment with your wardrobe? Because we all have potential with our wardrobes. Our wardrobe has really hidden gems in them, to really, as it's overwhelmingly packed, that's why we can't see our things in our wardrobe. So we need to take them out of our wardrobes and really look at each individual piece. Because trust me, as much as I have been decluttering customers and clients' wardrobes, they don't know. Whenever I show them something, they're like, oh, I'd never seen that before. Like, where did you find that? I was like, it was in your wardrobe. And they never know what's in their wardrobe. So I really urge you and encourage you to take everything out of your wardrobe. If you want to beat this, I have nothing to wear, take everything out of your wardrobe, look at each individual piece, and really, really discover the hidden gems in your wardrobe. And maybe pick out like 5, just start small, pick out 5 items that you haven't worn in a long time, or you haven't worn ever, and just really look at, what can I do to make a new outfit with this? Why I haven't worn it for a long time. So how can I make this outfit look completely new? This is something that I would encourage you to do. And this is how I help my clients as well. So I hope that tip helps you, and let me know how that goes when you do that. But also, we also get overwhelmed when we overthink too much about our outfits. And the overthinking becomes the frustration. Then the frustration becomes, I don't know what to wear. Then I don't know what to wear becomes repeating the same outfit. So we need to go back a bit more and start with, I know I'm currently overthinking. What can I do to stop overthinking? Something I can do. So that is just something that I just wanted to mention. And we overthink as well because we constantly are thinking, what is someone going to think when we see them? Because when we walk out of that front door, people are going to look at us. People are going to, maybe ask us. We're going to meet different people as well. And what we are really thinking when we actually pick the outfit is, what is people going to say? How am I going to look to them? And honestly, don't care what people say, honestly. Like, think about how you feel in that outfit. Think about how you want to wear that outfit. Think about if that outfit makes you feel confident, not how someone else thinks of you. How do you feel in the outfit? That's the most important thing. And also, yes, the first impression is there, and that is something that is fact. Like, the first impression is there. But what it comes down to is, what do I want to say about myself? How I dress? Like, what do I want to say? Not what other people think of me or what I want other people to say to me. How do I want to feel? How do I come across? Do I feel comfortable in what I wear? Like, do I feel comfortable in it? Hey, Erica. Like, do I feel comfortable in it? So I want just to go over kind of what I've talked about already. So I talked about the overwhelmingness that I did feel as my walk with God. And that was in the beginning stages. And then how I've kind of dealt with that situation and just personal things as well. How I've constantly known that I'm just sitting in that emotion. Good morning. How I'm just sitting in that emotion and just staying stuck and not getting out of it, like not trying to figure a way out. So that was something that I talked about in the beginning of this live, and then now we're talking about how the same overwhelmingness can happen in our wardrobes as well, and what can we do about it. So that's what I'm currently have been talking about, as you guys have just joined. I guess that is kind of the whole like overview of how we can fix something, is really figuring out what can we do about something that we feel stuck in. That's just the most important thing, is really what can we do and how can someone help us. And honestly, like, this is just the most important thing, is whatever you're going through, whatever you are struggling with, whatever is really getting you down right now, if you feel like alone, rejected, not enough, unwanted, and you are just not sure what life is about, you are constantly, really struggling right now, the way out is God. Honestly, this is the truth. Because this is what I was feeling, and I was trying to find a way out. I was trying to find myself, and God was the answer. Because we can never be satisfied, and we can never, in this world, we are full of darkness in this world, and He is the light of the world. So He is the only option, and this is the fact, and this is the truth, and that's just the honest fact. And the next thing I want to say is, when it comes to, and also He's someone as well that can give you like ideas on how you can get out of certain situations, not necessarily the hurt, but not just the hurt, like other things as well. It's like a learning process as I'm walking on this journey with God. Like, I'm learning something new every day about myself, every single day, like every single minute, every single time I meet somebody, every single time I do something, every single time I wake up in the morning, which is what he does. He wakes me up in the morning. He wakes us up in the morning. That's why we are here. Like, he loves us so much to wake us up again. And not many people do wake up, honestly. Oh, you're about to go on set. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's exciting. That's exciting. Yeah. So when you wake up in the morning, just thank him, because he woke you up this morning. Not many people wake up. It's just being grateful about the life that you have. And yeah, it's such a meaningful relationship, and it's just like, you don't want to take him for granted. And I have been guilty of that, honestly. I've been guilty of taking him for granted a little bit, because it's like an overwhelming feeling, just of his love. It's just so overwhelming. Like, you literally can't, you just can't explain it. It's just something that, you know, and I never want to take him I never want to take him for granted, because he gives me life, he gives me breath. Like, how can you take that for granted? You can't just, you know, walk in life just, you know, just being, you know, you can't just walk like that without giving thanks because you're here another day. Yeah, so I wanted just to mention that part. But it's just like, just really look at your situation and really think, what can I do? I'm feeling overwhelmed. What can I do? You can either stay stuck or you can find a way out. That's the two options you have. I was going to turn my fingers the other way, but that would be so disrespectful. That's the two options you have. Is, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Do I want to stay stuck in this overwhelmness? What can I do to get out of it? And again, what can I do to, the same thing, what can I do to get out of that situation? And that's just the most important thing, is what can I do to get out? Because there is a way out. And I just want to encourage you to let you know that what you're going through right now is just temporary. It's just temporary. It's not going to last long. It's not going to last long. It is not going to last long. Okay? It's just temporary. Everything is going to be okay. You can get through this. You are strong. You have someone with you constantly. We think that we are alone in this world, but we have God. Like, he is always with us. We think we're alone, but we're never alone. He is there. Truly, we are never alone. We have someone with us constantly. He wants to know us. He knows us, but he wants to know us, if that makes sense. So it's just about, you know, really looking closer in our lives, and just enjoying the little things, and yeah, just being grateful. Yeah. But that's the video for today. I hope this resonated with you and you just got many blessings from it, that it blessed you constantly, always with us, always. Yeah, that you got blessed by it. And yeah, thank you guys for joining. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you soon. I recorded a video. I think I mentioned this before. I recorded my one capsule wardrobe, so I'm still editing that video. Yes, let's do that. Yes, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let us do that. What? Let's do that. I'd love to. Yeah. Send me a DM and we can have some chats as well. Yeah, because I love what you're doing, and yeah, I love your content. It's so good. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.